All right. So I dropped my pick. All right. So, well, I don't like the Helix. So, Helix is going to be leaving the building, and now I know. Um, yeah, just fractal is way more my thing, and even Kemper. It's part of it is well. There's the software is just weird to me the way it's laid out. But you know what's funny? People say, "Oh, the HX edit is more intuitive. It's easier, and maybe it's easier to fix things on the fly." I don't know. I don't fix things on the fly at gigs really, and I did have one issue, and I was able to do it on the FM9. But this is strange to me. There's something about this that immediately, as soon as like I fired it up, I just immediately, it wasn't for me. I was like, I don't like this. I mean, I don't know why. Also, my eyes are bad. I can't see anything from this distance in this. I can't read hardly anything here. I just can't see it. I mean, I come in and I can see, oh yeah, there's amps and there's, Fullerton BRT. But from a distance, it is strange. So if I come here, let's see, I don't know, I haven't really done this. See, like I can read this, like diesel VH4, like I can read this. The other thing with these other ones is, I guess maybe the dials just are more my thing. Like if I click on a, whatever, on a delay, or I didn't put a delay in, well, whatever, in the amp, and I want to turn up the presence, I go like that. That just feels kind of more me. Let's click off it so we don't do anything jiggy. And then fractal, this just way more my thing. If I go into amps again, like I can see everything, and I just like this. That's one, and that's huge because I work all day with this stuff, and if I can't see it and I don't dig it, yeah, that's just weird. And I guess I could maybe change the resolution, but then everything would get, I don't like this. I don't care for the slider thing. I don't know why, like bass, like I don't know why. It's, I guess, from growing up playing Marshalls and Voxes and Fenders and Bogners, like if I'm looking at the dial and the bass is here, I know it's less bass, it's more. I don't know why. There's something that's disconnecting to me. This is very like numeric plugins as opposed to like just grabbing like in FabFilter. Like I just don't like this. I'm just being honest. Here it is. Here we go, man. Lighten it up, right? Doesn't sound as good. I went back and forth. It doesn't sound as good. There's something strange about the way it sounds. Let's see. Let me find this Rev Purple. This was a pretty cool preset. Now, and I know you can use your IRs and everything, but that sounds all right. It's I don't know, man. I don't know. It sounds very strange to my ear, so I'll leave it at that. So that's my experience, and I played through about 100 presets yesterday for a couple of hours and switched around in cabs and messed with this and effects on and off, and pretty much nothing excited me. Nothing. Not one thing that I heard was like, oh, that's awesome. just didn't happen. Now I hear people that use this and they get cool sounds. A lot of church guys with like, shimmer reverbs and, reverse delays with like, ducking compressors or, like they're doing all this stuff. And it just sounds cool, right? Also a lot of that stuff just covers up lack of tone. To me, that stuff is like, it's got cool built into it. If you take the cool out of it, what do you have? Like, that's what I look at. And that's not my thing anyway. You know what I mean? When you're 90% of session guitar playing is either dry or close to dry, or a little slap back, or a little bit of plate reverb, or some chorus. But I mean, all of these like shoegaze like things that people play. I mean, and you know what? Some of that obviously works at praise and worship, which is what this is a big thing with praise and worship. But that's not even when I play in church. That's just not my thing. I don't just drench it with all that stuff. I don't care for that kind of thing. So maybe its strengths are just not what turns me on. So it's brand new. It is brand new. The other thing I didn't care for it, updating the firmware is a pain in the butt. And there's 100 videos on how much of a pain in the butt it is. It kept crashing. And at first I'm like, oh my God, it crashed, and it wouldn't boot up. It kept saying something, boot drive this, go into firmware update mode. I was like, oh my God, what happened, man? And the updating takes forever. Like it took forever, but it took about 20 minutes where updating firmware on like everything else is like takes, I don't know. Sometimes it takes like a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes maybe, but it was a long, long time. And the fact that it kept crashing, it kept looping me around. I was shutting everything off, turning it back on, watching videos, reading threads, looking up stuff on the manual. So with everything, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. I don't desire to change. It will make somebody else happy. But coming from years on the Axe effects, I don't know. I'm trying to be diplomatic. I've had a rough week too. Remember, I got that American Telecaster at a music store that I felt kind of like dissed me. The guitar had a lot of problems, and I was, willing to pay for it, and like the tech didn't have 2 seconds to talk to me. And I said, you know what? I'll just exchange it because I was thinking, well, I wanted to get a Helix. I want to see if it's my thing. So I exchanged the Helix, and I brought the Helix home, and then it took me 2 hours to update the firmware. It was like, all right, this is already starting out a little strange. Our relationship is starting out a little strange. It also, yeah, you know what it is too? The whole unit itself is black. So unless the stuff that's lit up, but everything else, I can't see anything down here. Where the Helix or the Axe, the FM9 is more kind of military gray with white lettering. It's way, there's just, it also, honestly, the construction of the FM9 feels like a tank. This feels fine, but it doesn't, I don't know. It was just something about it, man. I don't know, man. So I'm selling it. I'm just going to cut my losses. I don't want to go back to the store and return it. I'm almost considering never going back to the store. And I've been a good customer of theirs for 8 years. I've spent a lot of money there, and we were always cool. And then what kind of went down the last day or so, I was like, maybe I just need a hiatus, but I'm not going to return it. So anyway, that's where I'm at, man. case in point, that to me is, for me, that's about as close to useless as humanly possible. I would never go, you know what, I want this sound. It would just never happen. Yeah. Supposedly the presets are way better now. I guess the presets were suspect with Helix. But, you know, the presets are a little suspect sometimes in all of these. I mean, the preset or the factory profiles that come with the Kemper are sketchy, man. Like, if you just bought a Kemper, I think they're better now with the newer updates, but like when I first got into Kemper like 5 years ago, I remember like going through the original factory and I was like, oh, this thing's terrible. And everybody's like, oh no, you got to get the third party like Michael Britt and, you know, Burt Mullendyke and Chop Tones and all this. And then I got them, I'm like, okay, yeah. But supposedly this is better. Yeah, I mean, there's probably a reason why XFX is way more expensive. You know, maybe on this one you do get a little bit of what you pay for. I mean, this is 17 with an expression pedal and, you know, all the whoop-de-doos. The FM9 is, with the turbo, is 22 with no expression pedal, less buttons. But I think it's built better. I think it sounds better. And I think the software is better. That's just me. Now, what people really like about this Helix are the snapshots so that they can really dial in all of their, like, live. They can have exactly the amount of delay or the exact this or exact that per, like, part of a song. That's why I think a part of why this is so popular with church. Yeah, plus it's cheaper too, right? But I don't really play like that. You know, I've got the FM9 set up like an amp and a pedal board. I've got, you know, my first two buttons. The main button is Edge, which is my AC30. My second button is Crunch, which is like a Plexi. And that's what I use. Now, if on the first button, if you press it and hold it, you get the second tier, whatever they call it, but you get the B one. And that's clean, which I never really use. And then if you go to the second button, which is the crunch, and you press and hold that, you get high gain, which I don't really use. I set it up in case I was playing top 40, I could just get anything, right? And then it's just like, you know, the next ones are like overdrive, you know, pitch, which is like that little octave thing for the church stuff. And then, you know, quarter delay, eighth delay, dotted eighth delay, big delay or big reverb, and tap tempo. I think that's it. Right? Edge, crunch, overdrive, chorus trem, pitch, tap tempo, dotted eighth, quarter, big verb. On the big verb, you hold it down, you get the tuner. That's it. That's all I need. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all I need. So for me, it's fine. But I see that that's probably a part of the appeal with this Helix thing. And also so many people are doing the church thing that is a big community of it, and they're able to get all their presets, and there's a lot of support for it. Though there's I mean, I have the hits. I don't know, David Hislop. Hislop, he's in some church band, Elevation or something. I don't know what band, but Hislop or something. He makes them for the Helix. He also makes them for the FM9, and I got it, but I didn't like it. I mean, I made my own, and I like my own, and there was nothing wrong with his, but it was not, you know, it was too. I don't know. I started, you know, I'm immediately like, whoa, with the reverbs and the this and the that. So it wasn't for me. I think it was formatted to come out 1 and 2, or mine was coming out. I don't know what it was, but I just like built my own, and yeah, that's it. So there you have it. The end of a long week. We're under construction at the house. We're remodeling the house. We've demoed the house. We're trying to find contractors to work on this house. A lot of stress. School just started. The kids are in 2 new schools. Baseball season starts today. I got a lot going on. I'm done with this. I'm selling this, and this is what I'm going with. I've got my 4 amps, my 77 stock Marshall. I got my modded Cameron Marshall. I've got my multi-watt dual rec. I've got my matchless C30. I've got my whatever Kemper. I've got my FM9. And these are my primary guitars I'm going to be using. Les Paul, Strat, Telly. I've got a pedal board here with, the Timeline stuff and a Mobius and, tube screamers and El Cap, and that's Sir Woodshed. That's a great compressor. That's it. So we're going to clear this out today because I had also moved over all of my expression pedals. It's a little, it's not, so no slagging really. Well, did I slag? Yeah, I slagged Helix, so I'm not going to say no slagging. It's all right. I don't think it's great. And that's coming from somebody that's, been on Axe Effects for about 4 years and Kemper for about 4 years. I think it's a distant third. That's just my opinion on it. It's cool, but yeah, there's something about it that I don't like. There's a bunch of things I don't like. So there you have it. So, yeah, you guys can get on the thing and, argue with me, or you can agree with me, or you can do whatever you want to do. It's a free country. Who likes that new song? Richmond, north of Richmond. Oh, miners on an island somewhere. Yeah. Well, imagine if Nashville was doing that. Maybe it wouldn't. Oh, anyway, I got to stay in a good mood. Stay positive. like the lady from the 40-Year-Old Virgin, or the 40-Year-Old Virgin, right? Positive. Me and my wife still do that all the time, man. We were watching that. Oh, no, Knocked Up. I'm sorry. We were watching that when we first met, and we were like, we were going to have a baby, and, so that was like our movie. Oh, God, what a funny movie. I love Paul Rudd. Yeah, it's great, man. Peace.